In the fall of 1985, Knight Rider returned for what would be its final season, and viewers were surprised to see an all-new version of KITT, one where KITT's body transformed with protruded vents, extended spoilers, and more. Up until the premiere, Night of the Juggernaut, fans of the show really hadn't had a good look at KITT's altered appearance. A teaser promo ran in the weeks before the premiere, but even that left the car shrouded in mystery.
When you live your life on the edge of evil and danger, like I do, you need all the help you can get. This new KITT may be a whole lot more than I bargained for, but it's what I need. And everybody needs a friend when you're running in the night.
Coming in 1 week, the 2-hour premiere.
Night of the Juggernaut premiered on September 20th, 1985. While the episode itself was excellent, in our opinion at least, the changes to KITT were met with mixed reactions. Some enjoyed KITT's transformation as it added to the fantasy of all the tricks he could do, while others criticized it as a ripoff of the then wildly popular Transformers cartoon. Either way, Super Pursuit Mode was here to stay, used frequently throughout the fourth and final season. In April of 1985, Universal Studios contracted with famed car customizer George Barris, whose credits are vast and include, among many other projects, the original 1960s Batmobile, as well as the Munster Coach, to build 4 new vehicles to be used as KITT. 2 of them were related to the convertible KITT that we also see debuted in Night of the Juggernaut, and the other 2 were Super Pursuit Mode cars. We're going to hold off on the convertible KITT for now and delve deep into those cars in a future episode. Today, it's all about the SPM cars. George only had a few months to deliver these 2 new Super Pursuit Mode variants of KITT to the production. One was a static SPM car, where the extendable bits were permanently welded in place. This one was called the Pursuit Drive Vehicle, while the other car, an engineless shell filled with hydraulics that was used for close-ups during KITT's transformation, was called the Pursuit Mock-Up Vehicle. The drive car was due to the studio mere days before filming was to commence on Night of the Juggernaut in Chicago, while the mock-up vehicle wasn't due until a month later in July. Those transformation scenes were filmed and added separately from the first unit filming the episode. These 2 cars were nearly identical when the mock-up vehicle was in full Super Pursuit mode, except for some minor differences in the top pillar ram air scoops. The mock-up vehicle had horizontal dividers in the scoops, while the drive vehicle had angled dividers. So before we break down the history of these 2 cars used for Super Pursuit Mode, did you know that each part of the SPM car has an official name? These names came directly from the design documents created by George Barris himself. Looking at the right side of the Super Pursuit Mode car, we have the air wing mounted on the nose extension, the hood turbo impression, left and right diaplanes that extend from the front fenders, left and right fender air reliefs that rotate out also from the front fenders, left and right top pillar ram air scoops that extend from the C-pillars, and left and right rear fender air scoops that rotate out from the rear quarters. Looking at the back of the SPM car, we have the rear top section that lifts up with a large rear whale's tail that extends up even further. Try saying that 3 times fast. 16 rocket tubes are revealed when the rear top section ascends, along with a center louver. A rear air valance drops from underneath the vehicle, supposedly to provide downward force on the car at high speeds. Finally, the emergency braking system, when activated, extends 3 air brakes, 2 on the sides and 1 on the top, to slow KITT down within seconds. Well, you've been patient enough. Now let's dig into each of these cars. Where did they come from, and where are they now? Car number 1, the Pursuit Drive Vehicle. This car started out life as a 1983 Firebird SE or Trans Am, most likely a Trans Am, with automatic transmission, power windows, T-tops, a split rear seat, air conditioning, no power mirrors, no cruise control. This is one of the train derailment cars. Not familiar with the train derailment incident? We've talked about it a number of times on this channel, but for the best overview of what happened, check out our video on the final verdict to learn more. We do a special segment all about the train derailment and how that affected Knight Rider. We'll link it in the description. So before this car became the Pursuit Drive Vehicle, it was the dedicated insert car for Season 3. The insert car is the one primarily used for interior shots while in motion. It's towed by a camera truck most of the time, so the actors can focus on acting and not driving. This is the only Knight Rider car to ever have a working auto roof as well. As I said, normally this car is being towed so we don't see the outside of it, but we do see it a few times from the outside in Season 3, notably in Knights of the Fast Lane when Michael and KITT are catching footballs, and in Night in Disgrace when KITT ejects Chuck out of the car. Because of these exterior scenes in Season 3, we're also able to see a design flaw in this car that will allow us to trace it to the Pursuit Drive Vehicle in Season 4. While the driver's side has the Trans Am style rear stone guard in place, the passenger side does not. Remember this detail, it'll be important later. Moving to the inside, in this screenshot from 10 Wheel Trouble, we can see that this same insert car has a hole drilled in the passenger side rear trim panel. This is the location where they would commonly install a pull handle to open the trunk, but for this car, that pull handle is absent, leaving only a hole. This detail, as well, will be important in a minute. Finally, utilizing the production call sheets and reports that we have, we're also able to make an educated guess at the internal inventory number that Universal Studios applied to this car. Now let's jump ahead to Season 4. We know in Season 4 that the production used a different insert car for that season, so what happened to the original Season 3 insert car? Before we answer that, let's take a look at screenshots of the Pursuit Drive Vehicle. In this shot from Night of the Juggernaut, we can see the Trans Am style stone guards on the driver's side. But look at this shot from The Wrong Crowd, where we get a good look at the passenger side. No passenger side stone guard. Now where have we seen this before? Let's also take a look at the inside. It was extremely rare that they filmed the inside of the Pursuit Drive Vehicle, but they did in Night of the Juggernaut. We can even see a funky square overhead console that this car had. And what's that? Yep, it's a hole in the trim panel, just like we saw in 10 Wheel Trouble in the insert car. So these details, coupled with our analysis of some 4th season episode call sheets that list the same inventory number that we saw in the Season 3 call sheets, make this one a slam dunk. The 3rd season insert car became the 4th season Pursuit Drive Vehicle. They even welded up the T-tops from this car to make the SPM car a hardtop to allow for the roof-mounted emergency braking system flap, as you can see in this build photo. So where is this car now? Unfortunately, it was crushed when the show ended as mandated by Pontiac. It was a train derailment car, and all of those were ordered to be destroyed. So let's move on to the other car. Car number 2, the mock-up drive vehicle. This was also a 1983 Trans Am. Silver exterior with a charcoal interior. Cruise control, trunk release, rear defrost, T-tops, power windows and locks, even an engine block heater. It was also one of the very few, perhaps the only, manual transmission car that the show had. This car was destined for the Canadian market when it too was involved in the train derailment. As you may have guessed from the details we're able to provide, we have the VIN of this car and the invoice from Pontiac detailing out all of its options. Our first confirmed appearance of the car that would become the engineless, hydraulic-powered mock-up Super Pursuit car was back in A Knight in Shining Armor. This car enters the Knight Rider world with a bang, performing the series' only reverse turbo boost. It then reappears again in Speed Demons, where it is one of 2 vehicles outfitted with the high traction drop-down feature, a set of hydraulic rams that raise and lower the car. Incidentally, we own the other high traction drop-down car. It makes a few other appearances throughout early Season 3 before it's given its most high-profile role yet, the car that got dumped into the acid pit in Junkyard Dog. Before submerging this car, they removed the engine and gutted the interior. When the car is pulled out, you can see how the rear wheel wells are touching the rear tires, indicative of the hydraulics from the high-traction drop-downs being disconnected, and, I might add, a problem that currently faces one of our original kits, which also had the high-traction drop-downs. As a side note, the front bumper seen on this car in Junkyard Dog when it's being pulled out of the acid pit survives to this day and is actually mounted on our original car. But more on that another time. We get a great look at the interior of this gutted kit, which actually reveals a wealth of information on the car itself. Besides things related to the studio, such as their unique keychains and the brake line lock foot switch, we can also see more about how this car was outfitted from Pontiac, and these details helped us to uncover the VIN. A power door lock relay and wiring tells us this car had power locks. A power window motor is present, and we can also see the cruise control switch and the non-power side mirrors. We see evidence of buttons for remote hatch release, rear defrost, and a rear wiper. We see the floor pan had the cutout for a manual transmission. We see hook-style T-top receivers, indicating either a 1982 or 1983 model. And of course, we see that there's no engine in the car. One might think that after this appearance, this car would have been destined for the scrap heap. But not yet. Years ago, we stumbled upon a post on a fishing message board of all places that provided the next pivotal clue. Here we see the acid pit car parked outside of George Barris's shop. Note the folding chair in place where the driver's seat would be. This photo was taken sometime in May or June of 1985. Note how the paint imperfections match up with shots from Junkyard Dog. You can even match up the paint runs near the passenger side door handle. Also, it appears the rear bumper is partially melted, most likely from the insert shot of KITT on fire. Both the fire and the burn marks are on the driver's side, even though the scene where KITT backfires is after KITT has been reprimed. The insert shot is clearly from before his body was fixed. And here's the money shot. Check out this in-progress build photo showing the SPM car's rear air valence mechanism being constructed. Now check out that rear bumper, clearly still wearing the acid pit paint job. So, the manual transmission stunt car that became one of the high-traction drop-down cars in Speed Demons, that then became the engine-less acid pit car in Junkyard Dog, went on to become the Pursuit mock-up drive vehicle. So where's this one today? Yep, unfortunately, it was crushed too. It was a train wreck car, and all of those had to be destroyed. Unfortunately, there are no screen-used examples of the Super Pursuit Mode KITT that have survived. But wait, you say? I saw a Super Pursuit Mode car recently. You don't know what you're talking about, you fool. Well, first, ouch, that hurts. Real deep down, too. And second, the SPM car you may have seen is actually a replica built by famed car customizer Jay Orberg, who was involved in the original build. This replica was built about 15 years ago and uses a 1988 Firebird as its donor, a car that clearly could not have been used in the series due to its production year. It's a beautiful tribute to the original, but it does deviate in certain places. Alright guys, that's all I've got for you today. Did you enjoy this dissection of the SPM cars, their origins, and their fates? Do you want us to dissect other original cars like this? Drop us a line in the comments below and give us your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.
And now, while we listen to Joe's selection of Knight Rider music that we received directly from Don Peake himself, we'd like to thank these Patreon supporters. Look at you guys scrolling up the screen to my right. Wait a minute, how can you tell which side is my right since you can't see me because I'm not on camera? Oh well, you know what I mean. We're featuring these fine supporters at our Knight Rider Prop Restorer level. Thank you very much for your support. And for those of you at the Knight Rider History Hunter level, we're recognizing you right now in the description. Now, if you enjoyed seeing this golden nugget of Knight Rider history being rescued from obscurity, then please consider supporting us on Patreon. Your support would empower us to bring you even more of these historical nuggets. We are the Knight Rider Historians. Till next time, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.